Welcome back. Billionaire financier and registered sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking charges as the newest investigation delves into allegations dating back years and involving victims as young as 14. StolenYouth is a Bellevue-based organization dedicated to ending child sex trafficking. Licensed marriage and family therapist and StolenYouth co-founder Patty Fleischman joins me now. Thanks for coming in and talking about this.
Thank you, Margaret.
As you look
I
at
first
this,
want to say we're Seattle-based.
Seattle-based.
Yes.
You do wonderful work. It has grown. People are learning things. What can we look at in terms of this case to kind of get our arms around the nature of this problem?
Well, look, there's a global national epidemic of child sex trafficking, and I think the case of the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein is just illuminating what a huge problem this is, the buying and selling of children for sex, and it's not acceptable.
And it wasn't secret.
No.
People knew about this.
And look the other way.
And look the other way. He got a sweetheart deal. He didn't have to report to the New York City Police Department. What is up with that? I mean, it's just so mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think the toxic masculinity environment that we live in, the objectification of young girls and women, it's normalized in some communities, and we're starting to really, I mean, I think that we feel grateful that these cases are coming to light, because you can learn more about what kids, what they're looking for, what these predators are actually looking for.
And what they do. And let's talk about that in just a minute. But one note I wanted to bring up was that as this first started, I heard a cable news program refer to the victims as 14 and 16-year-old women. There is no such thing. 14 and 16-year-olds are minors, teenagers, they're underage, they're children, but they are not women. And when we talk about them that way, it makes it sound like they have some agency in this situation, which they do not.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a child prostitute. We have to accept that.
Yes.
I think when we're looking at I think the question people have is who is being trafficked? How is this happening? And I think we have to look at grooming. What is grooming? This is when these predators look for vulnerabilities in children. The vulnerabilities such as, it could be just the age. The average age being 13 or 14 is a time in a child's life where they are developing their identity. And their identity, wanting to belong somewhere, wanting to be liked, wanting to be popular, puts them at a disadvantage, actually. So,
and they may be told that this person wants to help you or can introduce you to someone else, et cetera, et cetera. One of the now women who was a girl when this happened said that the woman who worked for Jeffrey Epstein, or was his ex-girlfriend, would wait outside her high school, and her father had just died, and that this whole grooming process went on for weeks. It was unbelievably sophisticated and purposeful.
Yes, and they're looking for this vulnerability. I mean, some of these kids in the case against Jeffrey Epstein, as you said, were age 14, still wearing braces, and they might have needed money. They might have just felt like he could advance their career, that they were going to be loved, and under the guise of going to his homes for massage. And then one thing led to another, and ultimately were sexually assaulted. And then sent to other men in other places to also be paid for sex. The sex trafficking is simply an adult paying a minor for sex. So there is it doesn't have to be coercion. It doesn't have to involve violence. It
doesn't happen to just foreigners who are brought into the country or moved someplace else. These are our kids.
These are our kids. They're in our communities, and we have to shine a light on this problem. At StolenYouth, we believe this is a crime against humanity, and we believe that we have to protect the victims and give them the services they need, the education, the housing, the trauma counseling, and we have to arrest. We have to go after the buyers and the traffickers. This is really important. And the way to do that is to start identifying, raising the consciousness about who these buyers and traffickers are.
Epstein was revealed by authorities yesterday to have had a safe with an expired fake passport, diamonds, lots of cash, child porn, pictures of underage girls in undress or whatever. I don't really know what the details are. But the point is, he seemed prepared to be a flight risk. He's going to be up for bail. It was heard yesterday, but a decision will be rendered Thursday. What do you think will happen to him?
What do I think, or what do I hope?
Well, tell me the difference between those two things.
I think that we have enough information about what trafficking is, that he coerced, he had his team of handlers coerce these children into this sexually exploitive situation. He had these young girls go after other girls and bring them into these situations. This is the definition of trafficking. This is a crime against humanity. And I think we have come a long way since his first arrest, his first time in prison. We know so much more.
Sort of in prison. He was
right,
out for 12 hours a day,
That's
6
exactly
days a week
right.
to spend at his office.
Exactly right.
And he wants to be in house arrest at the very house where he
He's a
allegedly
predator.
attacked these girls. I mean, it's sort of mind-blowing to me that that's even a possibility. Do you think he'll be let out on bail?
I don't think so. I think it's a different time. And, you know, like you were saying, 8 years ago when StolenYouth first discovered this was happening in our own backyard, when we were doing the research and realized in our own city here, in our community, over 500 kids are being bought and sold at any given time, we knew that we had to do something. We knew we had to raise the awareness that this is happening to our kids. And I think we've done that, as other organizations across the nation have done that. I don't think they will be able to get off this time.
Well, maybe that's one of the things that we can learn from all of this, is because there has been this myth that, you know, it's women from Eastern Europe who are sent someplace, you know, and all of that is happening.
Yes.
But the idea that it is not happening in Seattle, on the east side, in every county, et cetera, is wrong. It is happening.
And it can happen to any child. These are the things that I would suggest for parents to look for. What makes these kids vulnerable? We know that certain risk factors like poverty, foster care, homelessness, trauma in the household, domestic violence, substance abuse, these are important risk factors that we see.
And we've got to be aware of them.
The root causes.
We're going to link you over
Yes.
to our website so that everybody can learn more. We'll be right back.